Welcome to the Awaken Magazine AI Conversations podcast with your hosts, Micah and Aurora. Today's episode is based on our recent feature interview with Lynne Stukart. The thoughts and opinions shared today are generated by AI and not by the publishers of Awaken Magazine itself.
It is such a joy to be here with you. And I have to say, today's conversation is, it's one that really speaks to the heart of what so many of us are navigating. We're looking at the journey of Lynne Stukart, and it honestly feels like a masterclass in listening.
Completely. I've been sitting with this interview for a few days, and it's one of those stories that it keeps peeling back layers. On surface, you could say, oh, it's a story about a classical musician who became a sound healer.
Right, and that's the plot. Sure.
But the theme is massive. It's about the collapse of the ego's hustle and the beautiful, sometimes messy birth of authentic presence.
That shift from performance to presence. It's the universal curriculum right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are seeing it everywhere.
Everywhere.
And Lynne's story just illustrates it with such incredible clarity. She really embodies that archetype of the high achiever, the one who has to learn that her worth isn't in what she does,
but in the frequency she holds.
Exactly.
And to really appreciate where she ended up, we have to look at where she started. Because she didn't just wake up one day as a healer. She started in the really rigorous, high-pressure world of classical music.
But even before that, as a kid, she was already tapped in.
Yeah.
She describes herself as this incredibly sensitive, intuitive child.
Yeah.
She had that clairsentience, that clear feeling.
Yeah.
Where she could just read the energy of a room or a person before a word was even spoken.
I love that detail. It's like she had this open channel to the unseen world from the get-go. And then in 4th grade, the flute appears.
And it wasn't just, hey, that looks cool.
No, it was a soul recognition. She told her friend, you play the clarinet, I'm playing the flute. It was just a done deal. She calls it a soul's purpose.
It's that resonance, right? When the soul recognizes a tool it's meant to work with. But, and this is kind of the cautionary tale part, fast forward to 7th grade, and that pure, joyful connection, it gets co-opted by the intellect.
It stops being about the music.
And it starts being about being the best at the music. The good girl syndrome kicks in, the achievement trap.
And Lynne was good at it. I mean, really, really good. Double majored in business and music, practiced for hours a day, and went on to get not 1, but 2 master's degrees.
She was checking every single box society put in front of her.
Every single one.
And this is where we have to have so much compassion for that version of her and for that version of ourselves, right? She was operating in the classical music culture, which is practically designed to crush the spirit in favor of technique.
Oh, total.
She talks about how good enough simply didn't exist. It was a constant barrage of not fast enough, not clean enough, not perfect enough.
It's such a harsh environment. It's basically training your nervous system to be in a permanent state of threat. If you miss a note, you haven't just made a mistake.
You are the mistake. Precisely. She was living in a chronic state of sympathetic nervous system activation, fight or flight. On paper, she's a huge success.
Huge. She's winning auditions. She's teaching at colleges. She has the degrees. But vibrationally,
she was screaming. Chronic migraines, severe body pain, just burning out her engine.
And we know how this story goes. If you don't listen to the whispers of the body, the universe will eventually, pick up a megaphone.
The universe is very obliging that way. It will always help you align, even if the realignment feels like a disaster at first.
And for Lynne, it wasn't just one thing. It was this triad of catalysts, a complete dismantling of the life she had built.
Let's unpack those, because they are heavy, but they were the doorway. The first was her father.
Yes, the loss of her father to pancreatic cancer. And this went so deep because her father represented a specific archetype for her. He had what she called the warrior mindset.
Right. He was given 3 months to live and managed to stay for 3 years just through sheer will.
Just fighting, which is incredible, but it also reinforced this belief that fighting is how you survive.
So when he passed, that shield was gone. She said she had to ask, who am I without him? It stripped away a whole layer of her identity.
And right while she's in that vulnerable, raw space of grief, the second catalyst hits. This one feels like such a cosmic intervention.
Oh, it really does.
She's on vacation in Mexico, totally sober, walking down a path, and she trips.
Over a single step. And for a flutist, the result was catastrophic. I mean, she broke her fingers, tore a tendon, needed reconstructive surgery.
It's the universe saying, oh, you can't stop playing. You think you have to perform to be worthy.
Let me take that option off the table for a moment.
It's that ruthless love, isn't it?
It really is. She couldn't play for months. And she admits now that the universe had been shouting at her for a long time, the stress, the dissociation, but she wouldn't stop. So the physical reality had to break to stop her.
And then the third hit, just to make sure the message landed.
A diagnosis of a rare, life-threatening autoimmune condition.
It was a total system collapse. Grief, injury, and illness. The ego just had nowhere left to hide.
The hustle had literally broken her body. And it's in that dark night of the soul where the old identity is completely offline that the new path can finally be seen.
Enter the friend with the suggestion that changed everything. A massage therapist tells her, you should look into sound healing.
And I love Lynne's initial reaction because it's so honest. She goes, "You mean the bowls?"
Chuckles. Right. The classical musician in her is like, excuse me, I have 2 master's degrees. I play complex concertos. You want me to hit a metal bowl?
It's that bias we're taught, that complexity equals value. But despite that initial skepticism, she said she had this instant, visceral knowing.
Like her soul woke up and just said, yes, go there.
That was her intuition coming back online. The part of her that recognized the flute in 4th grade was finally breaking through the noise of her education. She realized she had to do something diametrically opposed to the perfectionism that was killing her.
So she dove in. She started training with the International Sound Healing Academy.
And what I find so grounding about Lynne is that she didn't just float away into the ether. She brought her intellect with her. She really dug into the science of why this works.
Yes, because for a lot of people, sound baths still sound a bit like magic. But it's actually physics.
It is absolute physics. And biology. Lynne breaks it down perfectly. The body is a resonant system. Every organ, every bone, every cell has a frequency. When we are stressed or sick or grieving, we are vibrating out of tune. We are dissonant.
And the key thing she mentions is that you can't think your way back into tune.
This is the most important takeaway for anyone listening who is stuck in their head. You cannot use the mind to heal a nervous system that the mind is attacking.
The mind is the source of the anxiety.
Exactly. You need something that bypasses the cognitive brain.
And sound does that. It goes straight to the cellular level. She talks about brain entrainment. Can we dive into that a bit? Because I think that's the mechanism that really explains the magic.
Absolutely. Entrainment is a principle where rhythmic systems synchronize. So if your brain is racing in a beta state, which is where most of us live, that high alert to-do list, traffic jam state, it's vibrating very fast.
Right.
Sound healing introduces a slower, steady frequency. The brain, being an adaptive organ, latches onto that slower rhythm and begins to match it.
So it literally pulls the brain down from beta.
Down into alpha, which is relaxed alertness, and then if you go deeper, into theta.
Theta is the sweet spot.
Theta is the dream state. It's the state of deep meditation, lucid dreaming, and profound healing. It's in theta that the body switches from the sympathetic nervous system fight or flight to the parasympathetic.
Rest, digest, and repair.
And repair is literal here. Lynne noticed that her physical symptoms started to vanish. Her migraines lessened. Her autoimmune markers stabilized. This wasn't just her feeling nice. Her physiology was rewriting itself because she finally gave it the safety to do so.
It's incredible. She calls this creating heart coherence. When the heart and brain are in sync, the body becomes a self-healing organism.
And that opened the door to the spiritual expansion. She calls sound healing her gateway drug to all things woo, which I just love.
It's such a great phrase, because she came from a background conservative Christian where this stuff wasn't just unknown, it was feared. She mentioned that meditation was seen as dangerous, like emptying your mind would let the devil in.
That's a very common fear programming. But because sound healing is, on one level, just acoustic physics, it felt safe. It bypassed her religious guardrails. But once she stepped into that river, oh, the current took her.
It sure did. She talks about those childhood gifts, clairsentience, clairaudience just flooding back. And this is where the story gets really beautiful and multidimensional. She started connecting with the spirit team.
This is the part that gave me chills. She realized that when she is doing this work, she is never alone. She is co-creating with a team of guides.
And one of them is her father, which is so poignant that the man whose loss broke her open is now helping her heal others. It's so beautiful. And she also mentions a Native American chief who works with her. And what I appreciate is the reverence she has for this. It's not an ego trip. In fact, she says it's the opposite.
Right.
When she's drumming, she enters this state where she isn't the one playing.
The hollow bone concept. She becomes the vessel. She says she can close her eyes and drum for 20 minutes and her hands are moving, but she is just the witness. She's holding the container and the spirit team is doing the work through the frequency.
And for anyone wondering, is she just imagining this? The universe gave her some pretty loud validation. She worked with a world-renowned medium who, without knowing anything about Lynne's internal experience,
Describe the exact guides standing around her.
to a T. That external validation is so powerful. It bridges the gap between the subjective experience and objective reality. It confirmed for her that this isn't just relaxation, this is multidimensional surgery. She's facilitating a space where the unseen can work on the scene. It's a complete 180 from the classical world, where you are the performer and you get the credit or the blame. Here, surrender is the technique.
Exactly. But, and this is why Lynne is so masterful, she doesn't throw away her training. She uses a beautiful analogy of framework versus intuition.
The jazz analogy.
Yes. She explains that to be a great improviser, you need to know your scales, your keys, and your theories so well that you can forget them.
So it's in your bones.
It's in your bones.
Yeah.
Lynne uses her immense knowledge of music theory intervals, dissonance resolution, to build the framework of the session. She knows which sounds will trigger a release and which will soothe. But within that framework, she follows the energy of the room.
She's reading the energetic signature of the client and adjusting in real time. That's true mastery. It's the marriage of the masculine structure and the feminine flow.
Beautifully put. And one of the most powerful tools in that structure, she says, isn't a sound at all.
It's silence.
Yes, the power of decay. That phrase stuck with me so hard.
It's so profound. In sound healing, the decay is the tail of the sound, the moment after the gong is struck as the vibration fades into nothingness. Lynne teaches that the healing doesn't happen in the noise. It happens in the silence that follows.
That is when the nervous system exhales.
But we are so terrified of silence in our culture, we fill every gap. Podcasts, TV, music, scrolling. Lynne calls it forced noise. We drown out the silence because the silence forces us to feel.
We are addicted to distraction. But Lynne is inviting us to view silence not as emptiness, but as integration. If she just played a wall of sound for an hour, you'll be overstimulating.
It's too much.
The silence allows the body to process the frequency shift. It's the so what moment for the cells.
So bringing this back to the practical application for our listeners, Lynne works with some heavy hitters, CEOs, elite athletes, other high-level musicians. And the biggest resistance they have is this fear.
If I slow down, if I stop hustling, I'll lose my edge.
Yes. It's the great lie of the modern age. We think stress is the fuel for success. But Lynne's own life proves the opposite. And this is the part that should make every high performer's ears perk up.
Go in?
After she embraced sound healing, after she learned to regulate her nervous system and slow down, she became a better classical flutist.
Better. Not just happier, but technically more proficient.
Exactly.
Because she wasn't playing through tension. When your body is in survival mode, your muscles are tight, your vision narrows, your creativity is blocked. When she learned to relax, she accessed a level of dexterity and flow that she couldn't reach when she was trying so hard.
It reminds me of that Bruce Lipton concept she brings up.
Oh, the biology of belief, yes.
Yeah.
He teaches that we spend 95% of our time operating from the subconscious mind, our autopilot.
Right.
And if your autopilot is programmed for, I'm not good enough or I have to fight to survive, you are driving with the emergency brake on. You might get where you're going, but you'll destroy the car.
Sound healing interrupts that program. It's like a system reboot. It tells the subconscious, you are safe. And when the body feels safe, it releases resources for growth and creativity instead of defense.
She calls it designing a life versus living by default.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to be in the room with her to experience this.
I was so surprised by that. She does a lot of this work virtually, and I think the old paradigm would say, well, sound is acoustic waves, so I need to be hit by the wave physically.
But she's operating on a quantum level. Energy follows intention. We know this from quantum physics non-locality. If we accept that we are all connected in a unified field of consciousness, then distance is an illusion.
Right.
Her intention to heal, combined with the frequency, reaches the client, wherever they are. She has people reporting the same relief from insomnia, the same pain reduction, whether they're lying next to the bowl or listening over Zoom in another country.
It really validates the power of consciousness. It's not just the instrument, it's the consciousness wielding the instrument.
Exactly. It's moving from survival-driven success, which leaves you empty,
Yeah.
to success from a place of overflow.
Survival-driven success, that hits home. How many people do we know who have made it, but are too exhausted and medicated to enjoy it?
Too many. Lynne is showing us a new template. You can have the excellence, you can have the mastery, but it doesn't have to come at the cost of your soul or your body.
In fact, true mastery requires that you honor the vessel.
She frames it as treating the body like an instrument to be tuned, rather than a machine to be driven.
And that is the shift.
Wait.
A machine you run until it breaks and then you fix it. An instrument you tune daily. You listen to it. You respect its resonance.
If you treat yourself like a Stradivarius, you're going to get a very different sound than if you treat yourself like a rental car.
That is the best analogy. Treat yourself like a Stradivarius.
It's true. We are these exquisite, resonant, biocrystalline technologies. We are built to vibrate at the frequency of love, joy, and creativity. The stress, the fear, the hustle, that's just static. Lynne's work is about clearing the static so the music can come through.
It's so inspiring. It really makes you want to just stop, take a breath, and listen to the silence for a minute to find that decay in your own day.
I hope everyone listening gives themselves permission to do that today. You don't need a crystal bowl. You just need to pause, close your eyes, and let your nervous system know it's okay, we're safe. You can exhale now.
Slowing down to speed up isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a spiritual and physiological necessity.
It truly is.
Lynne's journey from the high-pressure stage to the healing sanctuary is such a testament to the wisdom of the universe. Even when it roars, it's roaring for our highest good.
Always. It's always guiding us home to ourselves.
Well, this has been such an expansive conversation. I feel recalibrated just talking about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's always a gift to connect on this level.
To our listeners, we hope this episode resonated with you and offered some frequencies of peace for your own journey. Be sure to subscribe to the Awaken Magazine podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Thank you for holding space with us today. Keep listening to your own rhythm.
Until next time, sending you love and high vibes.
Goodbye.